It was the kind of confession that doesn't just ripple through Hollywood, it detonates. At 77, legendary actor and comedian Billy Crystal sat down for what was supposed to be a lighthearted look back at his decades-long career. But what he revealed turned the interview into a bombshell. He wasn't talking about a secret fling or fleeting romance. He was talking about Rob Reiner, the comedic genius behind This Is Spinal Tap, the director of When Harry Met Sally, the man who had been his friend, and something more, for decades. Then, before the world could process Billy's revelation, tragedy struck. Rob and his wife, Michelle, were found stabbed to death in their $13.5 million Brentwood estate. Their son, Nick, was charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder. And their daughter Romy, only 27, discovered the bodies. Her frantic 911 call wasn't just a plea for help, it was a warning: start with the basement. He should be a suspect. Billy Crystal's name resurfaced in the investigation, not as a suspect, but because he'd been privy to Rob's emotional confessions for years. Their bond had deepened over decades, starting in the smoky comedy clubs of 1970s New York and continuing through Hollywood's golden era. They shared laughter, secrets, and vulnerabilities that neither dared to name. Billy described their connection in private journals, the ones later subpoenaed by LAPD, revealing Rob's torment over living with a secret he feared would destroy his family. Nick Reiner's obsession with his father's emotional life became increasingly disturbing. Police discovered a basement that had been Nick's domain, a maze of notebooks, clippings, and tapes chronicling everything he perceived as betrayal. Among them were video recordings of Rob confessing his deep bond with Billy, not romantic, but intensely emotional. Nick had apparently internalized these confessions as a threat, a betrayal, and an affront to his identity. The night of the murders, Michelle fought, her defensive wounds showing resistance, while Rob's injuries suggested he did not. Romy's voice guided investigators to the basement, where the depth of Nick's paranoia and obsession was revealed: meticulous charts, red string connections, and a draft play mirroring the tragedy that would unfold. Nick's motives were tangled: jealousy, obsession, a distorted sense of justice, and his mental illness amplified them. But at the heart of the chaos was silence, the decades of unspoken truths between Billy and Rob, the private confessions never meant to leave their circle, and the emotional weight that no one could contain. Romy, intuitive and vigilant, had seen the cracks forming but couldn't prevent the inevitable. Billy Crystal's journals, Rob Reiner's tapes, and Romy's observations painted a portrait of a family destroyed by secrecy, emotional complexity, and a son's unraveling mind. This wasn't just a murder case. It was the explosive collision of love, loyalty, and silence, proving that sometimes the truths we bury the deepest are the ones that can destroy us.